Hey guys, it's Blaine with Treasure State again. Today I want to talk to you about how to price and really how to sell some of your more rare clothing items on eBay. Now, a lot of times you might find something that's rare, you haven't seen before, and you might search the completed listings and you really don't see anything. So I'm going to tell you how to set your own market and get the most out of your product. Now we're going to take a look at a couple of examples of some things I've sold in the last month. Alright, so the first one that we've got here, this is a vintage Pi Kappa Alpha fraternity jacket. So you can see how cool this guy is. This is probably from the 70s or maybe 80s. But there wasn't a single thing like this listed on eBay. But I knew it's big name. Somebody that's been a Pike before is going to want this thing. So I listed it high, started at $100. I think I took an offer of $65 from it. But if it is a one-of-a-kind, nothing else like it, what I recommend is list high, put it for a buy it now or a best offer, and wait till a good offer comes along. Now, my stock numbers I use sequentially so I can kind of tell and know exactly how long I've had something. So I had this listed for maybe 2 or 3 months. I was able to sit on it and wait for a really good offer to come in. The next one, I hit this at the right time. With the Winter Olympics that had just finished. This was an awesome vintage Team USA. I think this is actually athlete worn here in Bozeman. We've got a lot of professional Olympians and winter athletes here. So this is from the 1992 Winter Games in Albertville, France. I just got lucky with it. Once again, there wasn't another single thing listed like this on eBay. So I put her up for $99.99, and somebody just bought it for that. No best offer, just bought it outright. So that was a great score for me. Now this is a vintage Patagonia houndstooth pattern. This is the houndstooth. Now I immediately knew this would be a good seller when I saw it. I didn't have to research it at all. Now with this one, this is the interesting one because there were a couple past sales of basically this exact fleece, maybe different size, but they had sold for $65, $66, somewhere around there. But I wasn't going to settle for that. I knew that they had sold previously and there wasn't anything else listed, so instead of, doing maybe a $65 or a $75 buy it now, what I did is I priced it really high. I actually priced this at $122, which is basically double of what the previous ones had sold for. And then I had accepted an offer of $100 on this. So dictate the market. If you price something really low, your buyers are not going to find the value in it. But if I price this high, it all of a sudden becomes more valuable. If you can control your market and control what you sell it for and what the buyers are going to pay for it, you're going to be able to get the most money out of your products. Now we're going to go to get even higher price stuff. This was a kind of a Hudson Bay style blanket jacket coat from the 50s, 60s. This is a buckskin brand. Now, again, there was nothing like this listed on eBay. There was a couple other buckskins that were listed, but not exactly like this. They were lighter jackets. This is wool, just an awesome style, a couple blemishes. Same thing, I priced this really high. It's a nice vintage piece, and I wanted to get the most money I possibly could out of it. I listed it at $177, and fortunately the buyer bought it for that. This was kind of tough for me to give up on just because I love old wool products, so it's kind of sad to see it go, but it ended up being a great sale for me. So dictate your market and price what you want to sell it for. Here we've got a vintage Air Jordan windbreaker from the 90s. Same thing on this one. There was a couple other Jordan windbreakers that were listed, but nothing exactly like this. So once again, it was kind of a one-of-a-kind deal. Nothing on the completed listings like this. I put this up at $122, and I accepted a best offer of $80 on it. So get that money. Get the most out of it that you possibly can. This one was a good score for me. This was a Nomex 3A flame resistant down parka. This is a firefighter's jacket. Once again, I could not find a single completed listing anything on eBay for this. But just if you held this thing in your hands, you can tell its quality. You can tell it's expensive. I found some other firefighter jackets that had sold new for $700 or $800, so I knew the value was there. I originally had this listed for $500, and then I dropped it down to $333, and I accepted an offer at $205. So another one-of-a-kind thing. I priced it high, I set my market, and I got what I wanted out of it. Now the last one, this is the cream of the crop. This is a vintage Souvenir jacket from the 1950s from Japan. This thing was just really cool, embroidered front and back, reversible, just an awesome design. Now, there were lots of other Souvenir jackets on eBay. There was one that had sold for over $400, and then a bunch that had sold for $100 to $200. Now, I wanted to not be on the low end of that scale, so to avoid selling it for $100, $200, I listed it high. None of the previous jackets had sold for $500, and I knew this one wasn't going to sell for $500. But I listed it high. I had a best offer out there. Immediately got a bunch of offers on it, a bunch that were lower than I expected or wanted to sell it for. But I kind of had a number in my head that if it went for $400 or more, that I would accept it. And then finally, after having this listed for about 22 days, I got an offer of $420, and I accepted it. Now this matched the previous high that in the completed listings I had seen one sell for. So I was very happy with that. Another kind of one-of-a-kind deal. If you've got these rare items that seem to be quality, if they're name brand and they're really great, but you can't find anything on the completed listings, just trust your gut. Market high. If you're able to sit on it for 2 or 3 months, that's going to be your best option. Put a best offer on it and see what you can sell it for. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked it. And if you want to catch some more, comment, like, subscribe to me on YouTube. You can also check me out on Facebook at Treasure State Trove. We'll catch you next time.